Hi, I'm Andrew Stanton, and I am in the Criterion Closet, the hallowed ground. I have been a collector since the very beginning. Matter of fact, I think Criterion started similarly a few years ahead of Pixar. So when we were just a small group of nerds, we would just covet every new Laserdisc that came out, and here we are still. All right, today is the release date of Paper Moon, so I am excited that I get to be one of the first people to talk about it. Paper Moon, probably one of the strongest, most economical openings. In, I'd say, 10 seconds, you are interested in character. In about 30 seconds, you are intrigued by the dilemma. And 3 minutes in, you're rooting for the plot. And then 10 minutes in, you are blindly allegiant to this relationship. I mean, I can't think of a movie that does that more impactfully, more powerfully, more entertainingly. This is just a great movie. So putting that first in the bag, Brazil, 1985. It's kind of known in the lore that he had a cut of this that he wanted to release, but Universal didn't. And then he took the film hostage. So he got in a van and he drove up to CalArts, which was where I was, with my fellow students that some became co-workers with me at Pixar, my production designer on Toy Story and Finding Nemo, and Wall-E was Ralph, the late great Ralph Eggleston. He was the student projectionist. And he told us that Terry Gilliam was coming up and he was going to show some film, and it just made such a difference. I mean, I was already a Monty Python fan, already a Time Bandits fan, but this film has just, and it, you know, I think you can see it in Wall-E, just the influence this had. I can't say enough about this film. I love this film. Love. Okay, local hero. I come from a small fishing village, and I just totally got it. Every line is quotable. It was probably, to me, one of the greatest things Burt Lancaster did near the end of his career as Felix Happer. But this movie just speaks to my heart. I mean, if I could ever be involved in a movie that had this feeling that Bill Forsyth captured, I'd finish. I'd be done. Worst person in the world. This is a more recent film, 21. This is going to sound weird. It's a great movie on its own. But my favorite film in the world is Lawrence of Arabia. And people think it's for the spectacle, the scope, the scale, but it's because the theme of it is, who am I? And it's really the closest that you get to a novel where it's the internal desire to figure yourself out. So all your choices as a protagonist are seemingly reactive to things happening to you. But what you're invested in as an audience member is, what will that person choose to do based on just trying to find their identity as they encounter these choices and obstacles. And this is very similar in that respect. And I just found this the most amazing internal journey of somebody just trying to figure out their place in the world. It's staring right at me, so Defending Your Life. This is a perfect comedy. Came out in 91. We were a year out from really getting serious writing Toy Story. So all the movies that came out around 91, 92, 93, really like Midnight Run, things like that, had a big influence on our learning curve of trying to put comedy into a feature-length movie. I want to believe it's why I fell in love with the concept of Albert Brooks being the voice of a fish. To have had the chance to be a front row audience member for a one-man show in the recording studio with him for close to 4 to 5 years total is one of the biggest privileges of my career. And but this movie is just it's just flawless in my mind. Probably saving the best for last. MATEWAN. My senior year of film school, I remember seeing an ad for this in the LA Weekly, and I think it was a poster that looked similar to this, and just kind of be intrigued and took a chance. That's how I saw My Life as a Dog. It's how I saw Jean de Florette, Man on the Spring. Took in a matinee by myself, and I did this and was blown away. John Sayles has a way, I would say Richard Linklater has the same, just a way of doing multi-protagonist movies. He just loves to make the world sort of greater and richer than just the singular protagonist or multi-protagonist that you're following, and you feel it everywhere. The other thing that was huge is that he published a book then in the same year called Thinking in Pictures, and it was so hard to find a how-to book about how low-budget movies were made, and it was real nuts and bolts and practical and spoke in a common man's language, and I've kept onto that book. So if you only take one movie away from this whole pitch, MATEWAN.